Hi ho, hi ho. It's off to Georgia we go. Na 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 na. Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, hi ho. Roddick reflects on Rafa Nadal. Oh, wrong account. I don't want to go to my dashboard. Or maybe I do. Comments. Oh, we got some comments. How do I... This seems like a troll comment. Yeah. Oh yeah, this guy. Um, damn it. Oh, Rothbard's critique of the LVT. Um, I don't know. I guess we can try to find it. Wealth and Want. Wealthandwant.com. And the other one is like, not community individualism. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. GameEvent.com. Resources. Wealth and Want. Cooperative individualism. Saving communities. Feels like it's on this site. Homepage. Sitemap. Can I search the sitemap? Can I search this whole in? I don't know. Saving communities. Rothbard. Found it. Found it. Found it. Cool. By what metric do you judge? I haven't read much of yes. All right. Was very unimpressed. Words. It's completely down here. I do not esteem the Bible for its financial teachings. Live. Do not use the Bible to determine. What address the land problem? Alright, well. I don't understand how this comment. Um, if I get rid of that. Yeah, and then this shows up. As LVT increases land sprawl or decrease improvement small would increase within the decreased land sprawl. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not. That's fine. Oh. Okay. Oh, we're not chapter 2. Welcome to the Henry George Daily Devotional episode 1994. Just kidding, just 94. Chapter 3 of the effect upon individuals and classes of Book 9, Effects of the Remedy. The remedy, if this is your first time here, is the land value tax. George writes, when it is first proposed to put all taxes upon the value of land, and thus confiscate rent, which should be economic rent or ground rent, all landholders are likely to take the alarm, and there will not be wanting appeals to the fears of small farm and homestead owners. And there will not be wanting appeals to the fears of small farm and homestead owners, who will be told that this is a proposition to rob them of their hard-earned property. But a moment's reflection will show that this proposition should commend itself to all whose interests as landholders do not largely exceed their interests as laborers or capitalists or both. And further consideration will show that though the large landholders may lose relatively, yet even in their case there will be an absolute gain, for the increase in production will be so great that labor and capital will gain very much more than will be lost to private land ownership. While in these gains and in the greater ones involved in a more healthy social condition, the whole community, including the landowners themselves, will share. Let's see how long. Okay, pretty long. Yeah, I feel like some people when they're learning about the land value tax, they don't get as excited because they don't believe or they don't see the connection that would lead to a huge increase in productivity. They only think of it as like a less bad tax, maybe. And also, they're like, how are you ever going to change the tax laws? Blah, blah, blah. It's impossible. Nothing ever changes. In a preceding chapter, I have gone over the question of what is due to the present landholders and have shown that they have no claim to compensation. Yes, what is stolen? If you accidentally bought it and you didn't know it was stolen, there's a lot of common law that tends to say, well, you don't have to get in trouble, but you don't get it compensated when we restore it to its rightful owner. So if the rightful owner of all the land is all the humans, not just a human, then giving it back to the humans, justice does not demand anything like compensating the landlord. But there is still another ground on which we may dismiss all idea of compensation. They will not really be injured. It is manifest, of course, excuse me, that the change I propose will greatly benefit all those who live by wages, whether of hand or of head, laborers, operatives, mechanics, clerks, professional men of all sorts. It is manifest also that it will benefit all those who live partly by wages and partly by the earnings of their capital, storekeepers, merchants, manufacturers, employing or undertaking producers and exchangers of all sorts, from the peddler or drayman to the railroad or steamship owner. What is a drayman? A person who delivers beers for a brewery. And it is likewise manifest that it will increase the incomes of those whose incomes are drawn from the earnings of capital, or from investments other than in lands, save perhaps the holders of government bonds or other securities bearing fixed rates of interest, which will probably depreciate in selling value owing to the rise in the general rate of interest, though the income from them will remain the same. Yeah, I feel like some of like monetary theory would have to intersect with this. George was a greenbacker. I have yet to read his writings on that. I look forward to it. Take now the case of the homestead owner, the mechanic, storekeeper, or professional man who has secured himself a house and lot where he lives, and which he contemplates with satisfaction as a place from which his family cannot be ejected in case of death. He will not be injured. On the contrary, he will be the gainer. The selling value of his lot will diminish. Theoretically, it will entirely disappear. Yes, it will tend towards zero. But its usefulness to him will not disappear. It will serve his purpose as well as ever, while as the value of all other lots will diminish or disappear in the same ratio, he retains the same security of always having a lot that he had before. Yes, just as much as his property goes down, so too do his neighbors. That is to say, he is a loser only as the man who has bought himself a pair of boots may be said to be a loser by the subsequent fall in the price of boots. His boots will be just as useful to him, and the next pair of boots he can get cheaper. So it doesn't feel good though. So to the homestead owner his lot will be as useful, and should he look forward to getting a larger lot or having his children, as they grow up, get homesteads of their own, he will, even in the matter of lots, be the gainer. It's a little bit hard. We'll see if he talks about this immediately after I complain about it, as often happens. You consider present day homeowner who's paid off their house completely, and now they have to start paying a land value tax. It's hard to see how that individual is not hurt by this. Even more so if we put him in not one of these categories as a income earner, because presumably if we're ditching the income tax, he would gain from not having to pay the income tax. I don't know. But at the same time, you could argue like all taxes come from rent. So what's the difference? And anyway, George continues, and in the present, other things considered, he will be much the gainer. we're going back to the person who had a homestead or well, not necessarily a homestead, just a house and a lot. For though he will have more taxes to pay upon his land, he will be released from taxes upon his house and improvements, upon his furniture and personal property, upon all that he and his family eat, drink, and wear. While his earnings will be largely increased by the rise of wages, the constant employment, and the increased briskness of trade. His only loss will be if he wants to sell his lot without getting another, and this will be a small loss compared with the great gain. That's true without like a sales tax or any of these luxury taxes. That would all be better, and increased efficiency, increased production side would be better. George does fully ignore the relative position of wealth and status would be lost. Uh, a land, you know, the aristocracy, when they lose all of their land, they're no longer really an aristocracy. Uh, when the landlord is suddenly on equal footing as their tenants, there's a big status shift. Um, I think most people would agree uh, that is a factor in why people accumulate wealth, maybe. Well, yes, definitely some subset of wealth, and that undeniably would be lost out. A kind of psychological classism. Uh, and it's hard to persuade people to give up status. If that, yeah. And so with the farmer. I speak not now of the farmers who never touch the handles of a plow, who cultivate thousands of acres and enjoy incomes like those of the rich Southern planters before the war, but of the working farmers who constitute such a large class in the United States, men who own small farms which they cultivate with the aid of their boys and perhaps some hired help, and who in Europe would be called peasant proprietors. Paradoxical as it may appear to these men, until they understand the full bearings of the proposition, of all classes above, that of the mere laborer they have most to gain by placing all taxes upon the value of land, that they do not now get as good a living as their hard work ought to give them, they generally feel, though they may not be able to trace the cause. The fact is that taxation, as now levied, falls on them with peculiar severity. They are taxed on all their improvements, houses, barns, fences, crops, stock. The personal property which they have cannot be readily concealed or undervalued, as can the more valuable kinds which are concentrated in the cities. They are not only taxed on personal property and improvements, which the owners of unused land escape, but their land is generally taxed at a higher rate than land held on speculation, simply because it is improved. But further than this, all taxes imposed on commodities, and especially the taxes which, like our protective duties, are imposed with a view of raising prices of commodities, fall on the farmer without mitigation. For in a country like the United States, which exports agricultural produce, the farmer cannot be protected. Whoever gains, he must lose. Some years ago, the Free Trade League of New York published a broadside containing cuts of various articles of necessity, marked with the duties imposed by the tariff. Excuse me again. And which read something in this wise. The farmer rises in the morning and draws on his pantaloons, taxed 40%, and his boots, taxed 30%, striking a light with a match, taxed 200%, and so on, following him through the day and through life, until, killed by taxation, he is lowered into the grave with a rope, taxed 45%. This is but a graphic illustration of the manner in which such taxes ultimately fall. I wish there was a link to this. The farmer would be a great gainer by the substitution of a single tax upon the value of land for all these taxes. For the taxation of land values would fall with greatest weight not upon the agricultural districts where land values are comparatively small, but upon the towns and cities where land values are high, whereas taxes upon personal property and improvements fall as heavily in the country as in the city. Mm. And in sparsely settled districts there would be hardly any taxes at all for the farmer to pay. For taxes being levied upon the value of the bare land would fall as heavily upon unimproved as upon improved land. Acre for acre, the improved and cultivated farm, with its building, fences, orchard, crops, and stock, could be taxed no more than unused land of equal quality. The result would be that speculative values would be kept down, and that cultivated and improved farms would have no taxes to pay until the country around them had been well settled. In fact, paradoxical as it may at first seem to them, the effect of putting all taxation upon the value of land would be to relieve the harder working farmers of all taxation. Gonna end it there, keeping these short, or this one short. Um, Tomorrow, if you live in the Los Angeles area, consider meeting up with us Georgists at the Brewery West Brewery. Yep, it's in the name. Uh, Although it's spelled all weird. It's spelled like this. Brewery West. I realize that's pretty small on the screen. That's bigger. That's nice and big. 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. we're gonna play the landlord's game. I have these little Monopoly deeds, and it'll be fun if you come. All right, sayonara. Recording ended. Podcasters.home.spotify. HGDD 94, Book 9, Chapter 3, Start. I guess we will get to 100. Oh, it's taking its sweet time. New episode. Alright. Chapter 3, Start. Um, of the effects. So it was like many people will be scared by many landowners will be scared by the LVT. But if we think about it, they frequently, they almost across the board will be net gainers. This is because the all the other forms of tax will be alleviated and produce will and the economy will skyrocket. We will call this farmers' Don't need to worry about LVT. I don't like phrasing that way. The LVT actually hugely benefits the farmers. The farming farmers. I like that better. Alright, that is our title. Need to copy this. Excuse me. Excuse me. Well, I don't know why I copied that. Now, no, 194. Next, publish. YouTube, MeTube, we all. Another comment. See, now I get that notification. I already read that. Upload. Thumbnail. Assets, this one. Maybe I shouldn't always do the same one. Cherokee Nation. Today is the day of the elephant parade. Alright. That's not what I wanted. Yes, this is what I want to pick up. Gonna make my smoothie. Gonna read this. Gonna go for a little walk, stretch, release a video game, write an essay, apply for a job. I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. Party time. See ya.